We have Taylor Hendricks in the building with us today. Taylor, what's going on, man? Thanks for coming and chop it up with us.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you for having me, man. I can't wait to dive into this film sesh.
But I want to transition to your defense because one of the the biggest appeals for you is that not only are you an offensive player, but you play both sides of the ball. And we'll get to the shot blocking, but you're also going to be somebody who I think is guarding a bunch of different players. Right here, we got Landers Nolly, great shooter. And this just seems like a scouting report thing. Mm-hmm. It seems really high Q because you're already contesting the shot before he's got the shot up. So, how much is this like a film thing? Is this a walkthrough thing? Because it's a high IQ play here.
I mean, we definitely went through the film and we know how good of a shooter he is. So, my plan was kind of like to kind of like bait him to take the shot because I feel like my length was enough to kind of bother him, and it was. So, I kind of baited him into taking that shot.
Taylor, if I can, and because I think this play highlights it as well. And when we did your film deep dive, something that we talked about was for a guy your size, you move so well, so fluidly. You've got great feet. Obviously, you'll hear different stories like Hakeem Olajuwon, right? Famously, he had such great feet because he played soccer growing up, whatever. Where does your footwork come from? Your mobility, is that just hey man, I'm born athletic, or is it from playing different sports, or where does all that come from for you?
I would say it's from me playing different sports. Like my mom put me and my brother in a bunch of different things, like tennis. Football. Oh, yeah. We were in ballet too, so that probably helped a little bit as well. But literally anything you can name, I was probably in it. So I feel like that probably kind of helped.
This possession here, I thought, was another excellent defensive possession against Cincinnati. You start out, you're off ball, you're kind of in position to be able to tag the roll if the pass is thrown over, and then now you're in the perimeter, sending them to the sideline. You beat him to the spot, and you ultimately force him low shot clock into a really, really tough look. What was your team's kind of defensive philosophy? Were you trying to send guys sideline a lot? Was it a no mid? What was and also just great job here, and if you could expand on what you're trying to do here.
So our team philosophy was really don't let the player get middle because, when they go middle, our defense would kind of collapse. So, and on this player right here, we watched film on him and he would shoot it a lot in guys' faces. That's why, there was a little bit more sense of urgency when I was guarding him because I know he'll just shoot the ball even if I'm right there. So, I kind of got into him a little bit just so he would, wouldn't really take that shot. And I just moved my feet when he was trying to post me up and just me trying to stay close to him the whole time. Because I would have much rather him drive on me than, take a contested shot because he usually makes those. So.
And I think you do such a good job too. Your steal and block numbers were really great. And a lot of times when that happens, guys they gamble, right? They get themselves out of position. I think you did such a good job of playing with your chest and just staying solid, and then not hunting for those steal and block numbers, but forcing these guys into these really tough shots, and then just trying to get the rebound right and win the possession that way. I want to transition kind of into your versatility as a pick and roll defender, and I want to go back to your high school tape to show you've been doing this for a while here. You remember this play?
No, I don't even remember this.
Well, let's remind you because you get the switch onto the guard, and we see a little bit of the Taylor Hendricks experience here too. ISO'd on an island, top of the key, tries to break you down. Give me that shit.
I was put in a lot of situations, and I'm very thankful for the coaches that I've had because they've put me in situations where I have to switch. On a lot of pick and rolls, and just me getting used to guarding. If they beat me, it's that want again. If you want to block the shot, you just got to have the effort to do it. And I feel because of that, I'm pretty good recovery wise, And so, I was able to get that. So.
Yeah. And for me, this is not even a question, but Taylor, I just want to say, like, you've talked about it this whole pod, but in this clip and the clip that Corey played before as well, you could see the competitive spirit that you have. You really don't want to lose. You want to contest everything. The timing on your blocks are phenomenal as well. So I know Corey has a follow-up, but I just wanted to say, like, you could see it here. Like, you want it. This is a tough matchup, right? For you as a big against a small like this, to stay in front of him is hard as it is, but to go and to recover and block that shot, like you said, if you don't want it, you can't go and get that block. And clearly you want it. So I just want to say, like, what you've been saying and what we're seeing on tape match up. So I hope NBA front office noticed that as well.
For sure. Another one here, showing your switchability. This is at the college level against Jamal Shed, one of the best guards in the country. And when you get this switch here, are you cognizant, like, low shot clock, a guy that you kind of want to force into a tough outside shot, and you have the advantage with your length? Is this similar to the Landers Nolly situation?
Yeah, but Jamal Shed, like, he's fast, so I already know he's gonna, like, try and blow past me. So, like, when I get switches like this, like, I kind of, like, take pride in it. Like, it's like when I get switches, like in my head, I'm like, all right, let's go. Like, so, like, I don't know, like when I'm just in these positions, like, it just gets me a little bit more hype. And, I was just trying to stay in front of him because I know he's gonna try to, like, blow past me. Because, like, he's one of the fastest dudes we played against. So.
Let's get into this next clip, and again, showing your versatility. Albert talked about your timing, like high pointing blocks. This is more of like a drop, which I think that you could play at the next level. A lot of teams play. When you're in these situations where you are more in a drop scheme, how are you guarding the cat and mouse game that the guard is going to be playing?
Really, I'm just trying to, like, bait the guard to, like, take a layup, because I know, like, if I'm right there, like, it's going to be a tough shot for him to make, like, if he even gets to, like, up. So, this dude, he was, like, killing us, like, the whole game with it, like, going to his right. So, I wanted to bait him to see, like, if he could, get the shot over me, and, I was able to get a hand on it.
This is the classic, like, if you're playing Madden and you're playing as a safety, you're trying to bait them into throwing the curl so you could pick it off. No, it's fantastic, Taylor. It's you know what I'm talking about. This is fantastic stuff. And dude, this looks like a volleyball block. Did you ever play volleyball at all? Backup question.
No,
okay.
I didn't.
Well, maybe you should have, because some real volleyball blocks.
This possession I really like because it shows that ability for you to serve as that help weak side defender. And even the little stuff, you tag the guy cutting through the middle, you're talking, you're pointing stuff out to your teammates, you're being vocal, you're quarterbacking the defense here. Have you always been talkative as a defender out on the floor?
I would say, like, it really, I was a little bit of a talker, like, throughout high school, but Coach Dawkins, like, really emphasized, like, how important talking was. And because he was, like, a defensive minded coach, so, like, talking came with it. So I feel like that's something, like, that really blossomed throughout my freshman year of college.
Yeah. And Taylor, this is something that Corey and I, when we did your pod, we were like, dude, he was incredible. Like, you were incredible as a help side defender. Like, that's something that we actually, from what I remember, we spent a good amount of time talking about it. Obviously in the NBA, you're going to need that as well, and I'm just wondering, how do you feel like, what adjustments do you think you're going to have to make? Obviously, because, like, here in that play that Corey highlighted, like, the focus is there, the communications there, all that stuff. What are some big adjustments that you're hoping to kind of prepare for and you're working on right now?
I would say, just definitely the spacing, because, in the NBA, the space is going to be a lot bigger. So as much time to that spot. So a little bit faster, I'm going to have to adjust in that way. And, just depending on how much space I leave the man I'm guarding, just to be in that help position. So.
Well, your instincts are great on that end, and I think you have more ground to coverage in the NBA. I think the tennis skills, the footwork from the tennis skills, I think that's something that'll help in those scenarios a lot. In this play here, first of all, great timing. You send that shot back, but what I love is the second shot that doesn't happen right there. So after the first block and you send it back out, the ball handler who's driving decides, you know what? I don't want to end up like that either. And I think as valuable as it is that, you know, you could be a shot blocker, to be a rim intimidator is just as valuable protecting shots. He wants no part of you coming over and potentially, you know, suffering the same fate there. So that is something that I think is an underrated part of like being a rim protector. And you know, we see it here in the NIT tournament. Now, next possession, Brandon Pajensky, guy who's got a lot of buzz coming out of the combine, and shows again like your ability to guard in multiple schemes. This time you come out, you meet him at the level, you do a really good job recovering back to your man, and then you know you kind of you do a really good job timing it. What was it like playing against a smart, heady guard like that?
I mean, he was a great player. Like, you know, just his IQ overall and his feel for the game was like on another level. And, you know, the way he's able to fill up the stat sheet with steals and points and rebounds, and like he's one of the best rebounding guard. I don't know how many rebounds he ended up averaging in college, but
it was
like,
a lot.
you know,
He's like 8.
Yeah.
yeah. So like, you know, just his whole feel for the game and like, you know, just the way he plays, he was a great player. So
yeah, and again, do you like switching up your coverages? You know, like, you know, we've seen you in a switch, we've seen you in a drop, we've seen you now like hard hedging and recovering. Is that something that, you know, as a defender and you know, usually the last line of defense, you like take pride in, you enjoy doing?
yeah, definitely. I mean, like when I could, you know, switch a screen, that's like my first thing. Like I love to switch screens. Like, you know, like I said, just because I like to take pride in, you know, guarding a quicker guard or a, you know, a different position. But, you know, even when I'm like off the ball, like I like to like stay down, and, you know, if my man's going up, I'll tell my man on the same side to like just stay up. So, you know, just in case somebody drives, I could be there. Yeah,
For sure. And the last thing defensively I want to touch on, you mentioned, you know, how you're working on your strength and getting stronger. You're fighting, you're pushing, and you force them into a tough miss. And so I think that post defense is something in an area of your game that, you know, as you continue to get stronger, I think that versatility of being able to switch out on the perimeter and guard guards, being able to guard wings, and then being able to kind of bang in the post and guard guys there. You know, at the college level, you really were a 1 through 5 defender. And that, you know, that's a special defensive kind of prospect. Now, you know, this is something I like to ask prospects. Is there anybody at the next level that you're looking forward to guarding?
I would say definitely switching on to Kyrie Irving. You know, just to see if I could, yeah, just see if like I could give him a little bit of problems with, you know, his crazy handle. So no, I'm kind of looking forward to that.
Good luck through the rest of your journey, and thank you for coming here, chopping it up, and, you know, being so you know, honest and open and breaking down the film with us.
Thank you for having me. It was a great experience for sure.